Game one does not disappoint. Overtime, seconds left. Leon Draisaitl, McDavid, Bouchard, Corey Perry, they finish it. They put it in the back of the net on the power play. The Edmonton Oilers go up 1-0 in their home barn. Plenty of hockey left. I would say both teams did nearly exactly what I expected and what fans of this great channel expected in game one. Both teams executed their game plan. Both teams got exploited by the other team executing their game plan at times. It was a heavyweight title fight. It was Rocky versus Drago, back and forth. Here we go. But the Edmonton Oilers land the finishing blow in the 15th round, the round that doesn't exist anymore in boxing, if you're still following this analogy. And what a fight it was. 51 hits from the Oilers. 51 hits from the Florida Panthers. 102 hits. Let's talk about all the narratives. First off, everybody talked about the physicality of Florida, including me. But I feel like I was one of the only guys, and I'm going to take a couple victory laps here today because game one's gone as predicted. I said Edmonton could push back. I said guys like Kane, guys like Nurse, guys like Frederick, guys like Perry have the physicality to push back against the Bennetts, Kachucks, the Marchands, and the Ekblads, and they do. Sam Bennett, the Florida Panthers, the Rats, the Big Cats, meow, they hit hard as well too. But I would say in the battle of physicality, Sam Bennett started off strong. He was a focal point of the game, a major impact player, the $10 million man inbound, if you will. But it was Evander Kane who really comes out of this game shining as the example of physicality the right way in game one. He threw hit after hit after hit. He knew what his job was. Up and down the lineup, I said, watch out for Kane versus the Rats. Kane won, Rats 0. 6 games to go, though. Lots of hockey left. Both teams establishing themselves so that later on in this series, the team that is able to withstand more punishment and more damage will be left standing. Other notables for Edmonton: Podkolzin, phenomenal game. Arvidsson, phenomenal game. Jake Wallman, unbelievable game. Shot blocks, hits at a timely manner. Impact player for the Oilers. It's really hard to tell on the ice who was a bigger impact picked up at the trade deadline in the finals. Was it Marchand or was it Wallman? So far in the playoffs, Marchand has been the focal point and the star. He has a very good game today. He scores a goal, but boy, did Wallman step up, especially with the fact that Ekholm came back. The other thing we talked about in our preview, Ekholm was going to unleash Bouchard, and I think he did. Bouchard had a phenomenal game. Ekholm gets a phenomenal goal tonight. Those two together make quite the dynamic duo. Next, on the defensive side, we talked about the fact that Mikkola and Seth Jones are going to be impact players for Florida. They were. Seth Jones gobbled up minutes for Florida, looked good all night. We also talked about McDavid versus Barkov. I said McDavid's got to find a way to get away from Barkov to put goals in. He does. As soon as he gets away from Barkov with the matchups, said Chris Knoblaugh's got to get creative, find a way to get McDavid away from him because he has the home ice advantage change while he's at home, so don't waste it. He does. We talked about the fact that McDavid can exploit the Bennett line. He did last year. He does again. But we also talked about the fact that Barkov is the best in the league at taking away the best players. In Canada, there was even a graphic on the screen showing guys like Kucherov, guys like McDavid, Pasternak. The list went on forever. There was like 3 goals put in 5-on-5 against Barkov in the last 2 years in the playoffs. That's how good he is. He takes it away from McDavid tonight when he gets the favorable matchup. And yes, McDavid had opportunities to score, but every time he was in and this close, Barkov got a stick on him, found a way to take it. McDavid gets no points against Barkov 5-on-5. But McDavid does what he needs to do and capitalize on his chances away from Sasha Barkov. The next notable we talked about is the fact that Florida was going to take away time and space. And for maybe half the game today, they looked unbelievable at it. They were able to gap. They were able to shut down that crowd. They were able to shut down the Oilers. It got quiet for a time there in Rogers Place. And that is because you could see it, you could feel it throughout the game before the third period. That's when the momentum swung for the Edmonton Oilers. Florida was taking away that time and space. Edmonton starts strong. They start fast on the Draisaitl goal. It looks like, here comes the speed of the Oilers, exactly what we talked about. Counter punchers extraordinaire, neutral zone speed, ability to bury pucks on demand, and the fact that you can put sustained pressure in the Oilers zone for as long as you want. One mistake, it's in the back of your net. That's how it started off for Edmonton. But the comeback train for Florida, the lack of panic, the patience, goal one, Bennett in front of the net. We'll talk all about it. We'll show you the clips. Sneaky, Mr. Bennett. We talked about the fact that Verhaeghe, playoff performer, big-time players, big-time plays, big-time games, feeds Bennett in front of the net. And Bennett just happens, oopsie, to fall into the goalie. That's Sam Bennett, 10 out of 10 player. He gets you with one. He'll get you with multiple before this series is over. And then it drags into the mud, drags into the deep water. Like I said, Florida will try to drown you in that deep water. And it looked like they were going to. 3-1. And then all of a sudden, Edmonton gets out. I said Edmonton could tread water with the best of them. They can swim like Olympic swimmers in the deep end of a pool. They do not drown. They crash the net. Net front presence. Connor McDavid does Connor McDavid things. Finding Ekholm. Bang. Back of the net. Tie game. We're off to overtime. And my favorite announcer in hockey, Kevin Bieksa. Again, if you're in America, you didn't get to see it. Says Leon Draisaitl has only played 20 minutes. Look for him to bury it in overtime. And he does. And I got to say it. I agree with most things Bieksa says. He was the only one on the Canadian panel that says, I don't think Connor McDavid saw Ekholm on that play where he scored. I think he was sending it to Evander Kane, who takes 4 Panthers away with him. And it luckily gets to Ekholm. That's Kevin Bieksa. Everybody else says, no, it's Connor McDavid. He saw Ekholm. What do you guys think down below? Did McDavid see Ekholm? What do you think about the McDavid-Barkov matchup down below? Let me know. What do you think about the Draisaitl physicality at the beginning of the game? You let me know down below. Get down below in the comments. Controversial, hot comments. If you can't think of anything, put an emoji down there. Help spread the love of this video. Also, while you're down there, click that thumbs up. It's free. It's the best thing you can do to help spread the love and the video for Coach Ryan D and HGS. Subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, you can always come back. Subscriptions are free. And hey, if you like what you see and you like the late night work we're putting in, we do have a link down there, buymecoffee.com. Any donation goes right back into this channel for you guys. Now, before we show the goals, we have to talk about the battle of the goalies. Stu Skinner, big save off the puck, goes wide, able to find his post. He was fantastic tonight. Edmonton's got to do a little bit better job in front of the net from allowing Florida to get sticks on the puck. But you know what? Lundell, Marchand, they're going to get sticks on puck. This third line is absolutely deadly. As well, we talked about gapping tonight. Well, Edmonton has the puck, and take a look at these gaps. The takeaways from Florida all night were absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10. Until the third period, it's Bouchard coming in, getting a little bit cute. Bang, that puck is turned over, taken away. Of course, that's Brad Marchand. Sam Bennett picks it up. He's off to the races, wide open. Stuart Skinner puts it away. McDavid with a phenomenal back check. I don't know what it is about the McDavid-Bennett matchup, but McDavid really does seem to have Bennett's number, whereas Barkov seems to have the number of McDavid. Bobrovsky on his side with absolutely big saves. A howitzer from Bouchard off the wall. Draisaitl's in there. Bob taking it away. This guy's going to be a difference maker all series. And I mean, this guy is absolutely world class. Routine saves, great angles, able to make the third save, and even better rebound control. All this to say the goalies did not disappoint tonight, other than a little trickler from Arvidsson that gets under the glove of Bobrovsky. He was hot. Stu Skinner was hot. The Florida Panthers are going to have to find a way to break Skinner if they want to win this series, and they're going to have to find a way to get Bob just a little bit more support. But sometimes that support comes in the matter of scoring more goals, and I thought Edmonton did a good job of taking those away and settling down. First goal tonight comes super early. Absolutely fantastic dump and chase here by Edmonton, where Draisaitl lays a massive hit. That's going to set the tone for you. And what you can see here is they are looking to widen and lengthen the ice. We talk about this all the time. They're looking for a lane, and when you got the best passer in the NHL and Draisaitl out there, he's going to find it. Florida loves strong side support. So there's your D1. Doesn't have to be your defense to be claimed D1. It's just in the hit zone. You're attacking the puck. You've got one supporting guy, two supporting guys. And their whole point here is they're trying to cut the ice into quarters. If you can keep them into this quarter, the defense are going to win. And the goal of the offense here is to get out of that quarter and widen the zone. And of course, Edmonton does. It's just a beautiful little flip play to an area. And an area is just a simple pass where you know your player is and they aren't. So they're going to go ahead, skate in, pick up that puck. And this forces confusion and change. And frankly, the Bennett line is exploitable defensively. They don't have Reinhart. They don't have Barkov on this line. They're very offensive. Kachuk's been slower. And that requires Bennett to skate all the way from the corner as the centerman, which is going to be your F1 in this play to primarily get the puck. And now you're going to be stuck with Verhaeghe looking at the top. Verhaeghe's not moving over quick enough. You've got Tkachuk down low. He needs to get out there. He's not. And now you got two defensemen cached. This is why you end up moving the puck from low to high, wide to low. Bang, you pick that up. Their team defense is all over the place. Bennett doesn't have the ability to get in front of the net at this point. It's a quick shot on net, and now you have net front presence. All of this comes from the fact that Florida has no ability to get lined up or in their defensive zone because they got out of their quarter of the ice. And this is the Ekblad-Forsling pair. So this is the number one pair on Florida. This is what you expect to keep pucks out of your zone. But when you have one of the best players in the world in Draisaitl coming in the back door, he starts the play, he finishes the play, but take a look at this physicality. Drive the net, clear him out. Is this legal? Doesn't matter. It's the playoffs. Nobody cares. You clear him out of the way. Is it a bit of a pick play? Don't know, but it's a wide open net, and it all starts with a phenomenal forecheck and the ability to get out of that quarter zone and cause confusion against Florida. Draisaitl, the man who finishes the game, starts a beautiful one. Same thing's going to happen here for Florida on the Bennett goal. We got to take a look at what's going on in front of the net here. This is always going to be fun to talk about. There's going to be people who have opinions about it, but take a look at this net front battle. You don't need to have two guys in front on Sam Bennett at this time. This is what's going to cause the confusion. Just like Edmonton, you go low to high and you sneak in, but you do it on the strong side. You find the ability to find those soft spots in the ice, and they do. Moves it over to Verhaeghe here. I said these are offensively very talented players, this line. Defensively, sometimes they can be a bit of a liability. Comes in, quick shot, goes in off Bennett. It's in the back of the net. But this is going to be what everybody talks about, and frankly, this is just genius. This is Sam Bennett being Sam Bennett. This is the gotcha moment. He gets in front of the net. He's a pest. He's an agitator. And he's always looking to get position. Walman and Kulich, once again, Walman's got to get away. He's got to disengage from this battle. This is now Kulich's man. And he gets caught up here. And there's always an Edmontonian fan or a Floridian fan that don't like any takes we give. But you're getting one here. The foot gets behind him. That trips him up a little bit. He ends up slipping. But here's the interesting thing about Bennett. Him, Evander Kane, certain players in the NHL are really good at getting tripped. They're strong men. They're strong skaters. If I go behind your foot and move you, yeah, there's a good chance you could fall. But sometimes these guys just tend to fall a little too much. They end up in front of the goalie. They crash. They challenge it. It's not goaltender interference because that leg is there. And this is the game within the game and the big brain play of Sam Bennett. And don't worry, Evander Kane or someone else from the Oilers will perform a similar venture at some point because this is how hockey works. And again, on the Canadian broadcast, they talked about the fact that players will put this in the back of their mind and they'll go, okay, if I get touched near a goalie, I'm going to whoops into the goalie because it's going to be okay. And the reality is that's just not true. Every time they look at a play, they don't look at precedents, they just look at that play. So don't be surprised at some point in this series if we see a goal and there's either a challenge for goalie interference or it's waved off for goalie interference for a very similar play. That's the NHL for you, but that's the brilliance of Sam Bennett. It's the brilliance of a lot of guys on the Oilers. This is how you score goals. You got to be a little bit greasy. I think Kulak got caught here. I think Bennett exploits him. They make it 1-1. So much to talk about in this goal because that's why he's going to be the $10 million man. Next, Chris Knoblaw goes to challenge it. Nobody likes this challenge. If you like the challenge, let me know down below. I don't like this challenge. It's too early in the game. Yes, he went into the net. Yes, Knoblaw is correct. Bennett purposely went into the net. Everybody knows it, but there's no way they're going to be able to call it. The ref emphatically with huge amounts of authority, even to the point where my wife had to chuckle and go, "Me, big, strong referee, I make loud voice call so everybody know I'm right." It's quite funny. I thought it was a good one. But that's what happened. It was the game within the game. And then they end up on the penalty kill because of it. So I think you got to manage your emotions here a little bit. You got to realize they got away with one. I wouldn't have challenged this. He does, and it costs him. Edmonton has an opportunity earlier in the game to score from Connor McDavid, who hits a crossbar, but that's not what happens here on this play. Edmonton gets caught on a switch. You go low to high because that's what you do. And then they talked about this again. Again, I'm not going to take credit for something you see on TV. The goal here is once you lose that puck and it gets cycled up to Nate Schmidt, which it does, you've got to get into the middle of the ice and take that away. That's why we like stops and starts. That's why we don't like curls. And right now he's curling because you're going to have to get up here to your point, and that is going to leave a big giant gap in the middle. This is just how penalty kills work, but this is why power plays go low to high and create types of movement like this. So what you see here is a little bit too slow from Edmonton from getting to the top, and it's going to open up this wide lane right here where Nate Schmidt's going to look him off, and he's going to send it to Marchie, one of the best players in the NHL today. Bang. He finds him just a little bit too slow getting your stick into that position. Stu Skinner's got no chance on this one. The defense have no chance on this one. It is up to the two forwards to be able to cover that play. Beautiful play there by Florida, exploiting the coach's challenge. Now it's at this point in the game, Edmonton's going into the first. I'm actually feeling pretty good if I'm Edmonton at this point in time. I'm feeling great if I'm Florida. You're up 2-1. The shots don't matter. But I think Edmonton for the back half of this period outplayed Florida. Florida, I shouldn't say just the back half. Edmonton outplayed them in the first half too. But in the middle there, it was all Florida. I'm feeling pretty good if I'm the Oilers. I don't want to change anything if I'm the Oilers. 2 goals went in. If I'm the coach, I'm just going to wear that one on the shoulders. Hey, that's my call, guys. I made the coach's challenge. Let's just go out there and get one back. And Edmonton does. But they get a taste of their own medicine. This is Edmonton Oilers hockey 101, played perfectly well by the Florida Panthers. That puck gets rimmed around to the wide boards here. And Edmonton loves capitalizing on plays like this in their own defensive zone and putting pucks in the back of the net, especially when you have sustained pressure against the Oilers. Tkachuk, you've heard me talk about it. He reaches in here. That forces the turnover because Tkachuk was so high, and the sustained pressure from Edmonton allows Florida to exploit them. It's Bennett staying onside, just barely, getting in behind the D. And this is just a game breaker. Beautiful pickup, backhand to forehand, top shelf on Skinner. And those are tough. And I think the Edmonton Oilers last year, the year before, I think that's a game breaker and the game is over right there. That's a mental mind trap. You're all over them. You're outplaying them at this point in the game, and they counter-strike you with your own strategy, staying high, and they put it in the back of the net, and it's Sam Bennett. Ouch. But the Edmonton Oilers have been in this position so many times now. This is why I say playoff experience matters. Shrug it off. Shake it off. You're the Oilers. You know you can come back. Florida, you got to find a way to put a dagger into this one. And that's going to be the narrative for these playoffs. What have the Oilers learned from last year? And boy, have they learned. And they learned with this beautiful play by Podkolzin. I said he had a great game. Arvidsson, I love him. Mighty Mouse. Small guy, plays big. Phenomenal player. And what Podkolzin does here is so smart. You got to look at the tactics. It isn't just a drop to Arvidsson that's the big deal. It's what he does to Ekblad. First off, he drives the net, which is critical. And then he gets Ekblad in this leaning over position. As soon as you're in a leaning over position, you're doomed unless you put the player on his backside, which he doesn't. And then as he skates through, not only does he break through in order to screen him, but as he's going by Ekblad, take a look at what he does. He gets his stick on him right here. Ekblad does as well too, but it's that little whack, and it's so hard to see at high speed, but there's a little chop on the stick from Podkolzin, and that is just enough to get the stick out of the lane for the Arvidsson shot. Ekblad has no chance. Bob can't see it. It's a little bit of a knuckler. It's a weird puck. It ends up under his glove and it's in the back of the net. And little things like this take a long time to learn. It's one of the reasons I'm getting so impressed with Podkolzin. I know Oiler fans have known about him all year. You guys are thrilled, but the growth of this player through the playoffs has been notable. And if you're Florida at this point in time, I'm a little bit disappointed with the Forsling and the Ekblad pairing. They've been out there for a couple goals against now. I don't think they looked as good as they normally look. And there's always a fan out there that thinks I have an Edmonton bias or a hometown bias. There is no Edmonton bias, Florida fans. I assure you the rivalry between Winnipeg and Edmonton is strong. I only have one allegiance. That is to this channel. The second one is to the Winnipeg Jets. So I'm just cheering for good hockey here. But I am very impressed with what I'm seeing from the Oilers. Maybe I just expect more from Florida because they've been good for so long. Neutral zone regroup. Do not let Edmonton neutral zone regroup ever. Do not let 97 regroup with 2. 2 is going to be paid very handsomely this summer. So neutral zone regroup just allows you to widen and lengthen the neutral zone, picking up speed. Who is Connor McDavid going to exploit? He's going to exploit the Sam Bennett line because that's what Connor McDavid does. Beautiful little regroup pass there from Bouchard. Sometimes this is the hallmark of a great defenseman. It's the little things that you don't see from defensemen that open pieces up. McDavid makes a lovely drop pass here, and he's going to continue down low. You can't let McDavid get behind you, and when you have a line of 4 Panthers like this in the way, you better not let that puck get behind you because there is no puck support behind you. But that speed of the neutral zone regroup is what causes this. There's a little bit of a tire blowing here. Kasperi Kapanen, phenomenal play down low, and they're going to exploit it over to McDavid. And take a look here as he's coming through. Evander Kane pushing through. This is the argument. Did Kane and McDavid, were they trying to link up? Was McDavid seeing Kane? Or was it McDavid finding Ekholm coming through at this point? I still think it's looking for Ekholm. Kane takes 4 Florida Panthers with him. What a player right now. Phenomenal. Ekholm steps up, puts it in the back of the net. Far side, top corner, wide open. Neutral zone regroups are absolutely critical to blowing up gap on defenders. So do not underestimate those little passes that defense make in the neutral zone. We spend 20 minutes to 30 minutes in an hour practice working on plays like that, working on the skills defensemen need to transition pucks like that, what forwards need to do, where they need to present sticks to angles, and sometimes you just throw it all out the window and you give it to 97 because he's just that good. Phenomenal give and go over there to Kasperi Kapanen. That gives you room. It's what makes McDavid so good. Bring all the defenders to you, little chip away. As soon as they blink, get it back on your stick and give it to somebody else so they can put it in the back of the net. That ends up making it 3-3, and Edmonton's ready to go for overtime. And the look on this man's face says it all. He knows he got beat. He got burnt. He over-forechecked. He's the biggest impact player for 3 periods in this game, good and bad. It doesn't matter how many you put in if the other team puts in one more than you. We're into overtime. Wallman, phenomenal play. Exploits the fact that there's no stick here for Florida. They go to push. Wallman's down. Phenomenal play by Lindell. I mean, if you have no stick, you got to take a player out. He does. He's able to move it over to Adam Henrique. And Henrique, once again, we see a common factor here. The Florida Panthers get lined up in a line. Look, I mean, it's almost a straight line at this point, right through to Marchand. That's never going to be good. You can get behind these. If not, I mean, I guess you got 4 guys lined up, but they move it over to Frederick. Frederick Big save by Bobrovsky. Massive. I still have no idea how he got across and stopped that puck. Power play time, game-winning goal. Puck goes over the glass, delay of game. Terrible, terrible, unfortunate turn of events if you're Florida. But Connor McDavid blowing up gap here, doing what McDavid does. You can't let this guy hit the line with speed. You do. The commonality of seeing a 1-on-4 with McDavid at any point in the time, it's just common. Sun goes up, sun goes down. McDavid beats you 1-on-4, and he moves it over to Nuge, who was relatively quiet this game, but he showed up at the right moment. He didn't have a bad game. He just didn't have the Nuge impact we figured he would. We called him an impact player before he came in. He will have plenty of time to add more to the resume, and he adds a big one here. Hopkins, once again, we have seen this. We've seen it tonight. Go low to high. That is going to open up the middle of the ice here. You are looking to exploit the penalty kill by getting them to move. As you move that puck up high, who do you move it to? Well, it's Evan Bouchard, of course, because it is Evan Bouchard. He moves it down low, and now take a look at the gap that has been created here. You have an absolutely massive one. That's the point of moving it high to low, and we're going to get Corey Perry to touch the puck. We're going to get Connor McDavid to touch the puck, and you can see him. He's telling Hopkins, get it down to Perry. He's directing traffic. He's looking at him. McDavid is talking all about it. You can hear him calling it on the ice. Down to Perry, down low. Finds Corey Perry. And how good has Corey Perry been for the Edmonton Oilers over the last 2 years? 97 is now wide open. This is just such simple hockey. It looks beautiful on ice. It's unbelievable when you see it at full speed. Sorry about the YouTube copyright pieces here. But you catch all floor Florida Panthers now, and they are completely out of sorts. You've exploited the middle of the ice. You're going to move it over to Draisaitl. Draisaitl's going to put it in the back of the net. This is why we go high to low. This is why we have switches on power plays. It's because it opens up the ice against the penalty killers. It is very hard for penalty killers to hold their position. They need to bottle you in a small area of the ice. How are you going to bottle anything, though, when Connor McDavid's speed is hitting you at the line like it does? All 5 players touch the puck. It goes in the back of the net from Draisaitl. But if you could share a goal amongst 5 players, that would be the one to share. Everybody contributed on it. And I'm going to leave you with this final note. Final victory lap for Coach Ryan D. I understood that 5-on-5, the Edmonton Oilers have been incredible, but I said it before the series. Give me the Oilers power play any day of the week. I don't care what the stats say. When you have Bouchard, McDavid, and Draisaitl on the ice, and then you're adding pieces like Nugent Hopkins, a former 101 who has been on fire in the playoffs, is a phenomenal playmaker and an agitator in net front presence, and former 50-goal scorer MVP Corey Perry in the twilight of his career. I don't care what the stats say. It's a deadly power play, and now everybody has learned that lesson. If they didn't believe it before, good luck shutting it down, especially at this point in time. But nobody panic if you're on Florida, and don't get the parades out yet. If you're Edmonton, this series has a lot of hockey left to play. It was this close. It could have gone either way. Florida's going to go back to the drawing board. They will not be shook. Florida is a veteran team with a veteran coach. Edmonton needs to win this one at home because the line matchups for McDavid truly matter, especially getting him out there against Bennett. You don't want to go home down 1-1 or 2-0 where Barkov is going to be on McDavid like white on rice. So Edmonton has done what they were supposed to do. Win the first one at home. Florida's just trying to steal one. They have an opportunity to do it in game 2. Let's see if they do. This was a heck of a game. Top tier hockey. Unbelievable. Game 2 will be better. So will 3, so will 4, and so on. We'll catch you in the next one.